Shivaham. So today we move on with the story. Devi Lalita's forces, the full force is ready, and let's see they're ready to take on Bhandasura's army.
What is given is a gift. Whatever is present in and around us is a given. A gift is to be accepted with an attitude of sanctity, and this is called grace. In the absence of sanctity, a deep darkness of ignorance leads us to take everything for granted, the Bhanda. In absolute gracelessness, Bhandasura is not able to recognize the power of Devi and the Shakti Sena. Chapter 16, Bhandasura plans to counter Devi's army. As Devi Lalita's Shakti Sena moved ahead, inauspicious omens were noticed in Shunyakapattana. Bhandasura called an urgent meeting along with his brothers Vishukra and Vishanga to assess and evaluate the situation. In the meeting, Vishukra spoke thus: all Devatas have burnt themselves by jumping into a sacrificial fire in despair. From that fire arose Mother Goddess, who has rejuvenated all the Devatas. She is coming for a war with us, along with an army of women. Those Devatas are trying to cut stones using tender leaves. Even then, we should not neglect that woman. We must send our army immediately. Vishanga said, any work should only be done after properly thinking about it. First, we must send spies and see how powerful their army is. We must not underestimate the enemy's army. In the past, Hiranyakashipu was killed by an animal. Shumbha and Nishumbha were killed by a woman. So we must go and get more information about her. Who is she? Who's supporting or protecting her? What does she want? All these queries should be answered. Listening to this, Bhandasura shuddered at the proposal with a sarcastic grin. Even if all the Devatas are behind her, we have nothing to fear. Do not entertain such useless thoughts and spoil your mind. Immediately, Bhandasura ordered Kutilaksha, the commander-in-chief of his army, to protect the fort of Shunyakapatana. He ordered Lalita to be dragged to him by her hair. Now the demons play the war drums. Kutilaksha sent the first batch of army with Asura Durmada as the commander. At Shunyaka, Kutilaksha made arrangements for protection. Duties to guard were assigned at the eastern entry to Talajanga, the southern entry to Talabhuja, western entry to Talagriva, and the northern entry to Talaketu, with 10 Akshauhini armies each. For each corner of the town, another 10 Akshauhinis were allocated. I am known as the Lord of War, the Deva Senapati. I am in the best position to appreciate the sheer force of the Shakti Sena. What a sight to behold! Waging war against ignorance is the greatest expression of love. Wars fought in nature to defend personal agendas and opinions, in defense, to usurp, to defeat, and to resolve conflict are not the same as the wars in the cosmic realms. A divine war is the expression of knowledge and compassion. Chapter 17, Devi's Shakti Sena surges ahead. Durmada was confronted by Sampatkari Devi and her army of elephants who arose from Lalita Devi's spear. Realizing that his army was being defeated, Durmada himself arrived seated on a camel. Sampatkari Devi, riding the elephant Ranakolahalam, faced him. In the ferocious battle, Durmada was able to destroy only one gem from the crown of Sampatkari Devi. Sampatkari Devi rose with anger at this and killed Durmada with her arrows, which pierced his heart. With the falling of Durmada, the remaining Asuras assigned for the protection of Shunyaka fort fled back to their town out of fear. When Bhandasura came to know about this, he was very angry and sent Durmada's elder brother Kurunda for battle. Kurunda was an expert in Maya Yuddha, the war using mystical powers. Full of vengeance, he attacked Sampatkari Devi. In the meanwhile, Ashwarudha Devi, who had taken birth from Lalita Devi's whip, the Pasha, came forward and asked Sampatkari Devi to give her a chance to fight with Kurunda. Ashwarudha Devi, along with her army, pounced upon Kurunda. Ashwarudha Devi, mounted on Aparajita, was herself leading the army. She killed Kurunda by piercing his chest with her spear. The remaining asuras of Kurunda's army fled from the battlefield. Bhandasura became furious. He sent a huge army of 100 Akshauhinis along with 5 commanders. They materialized serpents called Ranashambari, which attacked the Shakti Sena. The Asuras had previously defeated the Devatas using these same mystical powers. Crores and crores of serpents started torturing the Shakti Sena. The serpents were taking birth again and again, even after being killed a number of times. Then Nakuli Devi, mounted on Garuda, arrived at the battlefield. From her mouth came 32 crores of mongooses. These mongooses started eating up all the newborn serpents immediately after birth. Then Nakuli Devi killed Ranashambari with the Garuda Astra. All the 5 commanders attacked her. Nakuli Devi's mongoose army attacked them from the rear. In that ferocious battle, Nakuli Devi, who was mounted on Garuda, was making aerial strikes on the Asuras, who were not able to catch her. She killed the 5 commanders by chopping off their heads. Again, Bhandasura sent Valahaka and other 7 commanders along with 300 Akshauhini army. These 7 asuras were sons of Kikasa. In the past, they obtained a boon from Surya Deva that at the time of war, the sun would reside in their eyes. As soon as these asuras entered the battlefield, the Shakti Sena was blinded, unable to face the brilliance of their eyes. The Asura armies started becoming ferocious. Immediately, the bodyguard of Dandanatha Devi, named Tiraskarinika Devi, entered the battlefield mounted on Tamoliptam, a flying vessel. On the order of Dandanatha Devi, she discharged an arrow called Andhanastra, and the 7 commanders were forced to close their eyes. The Shakti Sena pounced back at the Asuras. Keeping Tiraskarinika Devi in the forefront, they killed the 7 commanders. With this blow, Bhandasura lost all his senses. He again called upon his 2 brothers for a discussion. In the meeting, it was decided that Vishanga would cheat Devi's army and attack from its rear side. This decision was taken because they got information from their spies that Devi Lalita was having less army and protection at the rear end, and it was easier for them to attack her directly if they approached from the rear. After the first day's war, at dusk, Vishanga with a small army proceeded to the rear of Lalita Devi's army noiselessly without any drums. By then, Lalita Devi's army was moving westward. Vishanga, along with his army, moved northwards and then turned to reach eastern side. He was able to see Sri Chakraraja chariot very near to him. Lalita Devi was looking ahead, observing the movement of the army. Taking this opportunity, Vishanga attacked Devi's chariot from the rear all of a sudden. One glance of Devi was more than sufficient to end Bhandasura. Yet, this brilliant war unfolds itself through different stages, giving opportunity to all the elements of the Shakti Sena to express their might. This process of unfolding the Shaktis is essential to reset creation. For Kamadeva to rise again, the Shakti Sena has to emerge step by step. Chapter 18, War Escalates, the Destruction of Shunyakapattana. Anima Devi and other gods who were present in the rear of the Shakti Sena were taken by surprise in the sudden attack but quickly recovered themselves and prepared for a counterfight. Exactly at the same time, Kutilaksha, along with 10 Akshauhini army, attacked from the front. Seeing the attack from both the ends, Lalita Devi was a little angry. Just then, struck by an arrow from Vishanga, the fan present in Lalita Devi's hand fell down and broke. Seeing this, the Tithi Devatas got very angry. They went and requested Lalita Devi that if Vanhivasini and Jwala Malini Nitya Devis, who have property and capacity of self-illumination, would be asked to glow, the Asuras who are hiding in the darkness of the night would become visible. With the permission of Lalita Devi, Vanhivasini and Jwala Malini Devis started glowing like fireballs. All the Asuras who were hiding in darkness became visible. Now, the 16 Nitya Devis attacked Vishanga's army ferociously. All the commanders in the Asura army died, and the wounded Vishanga fled for his life shamelessly along with Kutilaksha. Mantrini Devi and Dandanatha Devi were unhappy about this unprecedented attack at night. They felt very sorry that the arrangements of protection were not up to the mark. Both of them went to Lalita Devi, expressed regret for what had happened, and made arrangements for protection. On the instruction of Lalita Devi, Jwala Malini Devi made a Vanhi Prakara, a compound wall of fire around the Shakti Sena. The firewall was 100 yojana wide and 30 yojanas tall. At the southern end of the firewall was a 1 yojana long entry to enable Devi's army to go out and fight because Shonyakapatana was facing that end. Stambhini Devi, a member of Dandanatha Devi's family, along with 20 Akshavani Sena, was protecting this entry point. She is also called Vighna Devi. By then, it was dawn. Bhandasura was in despair and started planning his next move. This time, he sent all his 30 sons for the war. When this news came into the Shakti Sena camp, Lalita Devi's daughter, Bala Devi or Bala Tripura Sundari, wanted to fight these demons herself. Bala Devi is the only daughter of Lalita Devi. She resembles Lalita Devi very much, but in a young girl's form. She stays permanently with her mother. Bala Devi approached her mother and requested permission to fight on the battlefield. First, Lalita Devi denied, but looking at the courage and willpower exhibited by Bala Devi, she ultimately gave permission. Seeing Bala Devi coming for the war, Mantrini Devi and Dandanatha were astonished and they stood as her bodyguards. Now, Bala Devi started a ferocious fight with Bhandasura's sons. Everyone was surprised at her valor. Whole of the second day, Bala Devi fought. That evening, she shot 30 arrows at a time and killed the 30 sons of Bhanda. Lalita Devi was very happy and she embraced her daughter. Bhandasura was grief-stricken. Vishukra and Vishanga pacified Bhandasura, but to no avail. My brother Ganesha is the hero of this part of the war. He never ceases to make me smile, be it in pride or in affection. He is symbolic of the intelligence faculty. Through war or through life, there are obstacles that will arise that specifically can be overcome only with his energy. Loss of purpose and faith are the greatest obstacles in the path of the resurgence of creative forces within us. Vigneshwara, my brother Ganapati, is the gateway to overcome all of this. Chapter 19, Bhandasura's ploy with the Vigna Yantra. As the next step, Bhandasura sent Vishukra to the war front. In the darkness, Vishukra approached the Vanhi Prakara. On a flat stone, he drew a Vigna Yantra, a mystic symbol of obstacles, and performed magic rituals and chants. He then threw that mystic symbol forcefully. It fell somewhere on the firewall. With the effect of the Vigna Yantra, laziness crept into the minds of the Shakti Sena. Some started arguing that war itself was wrong. Some said, why should we fight on behalf of the Devatas? Some said, who is this Lalita Devi? Who has given her superior powers over us? Some others said, if all of us together disagree to fight, what can the Lalita Devi do? All of them fell into a deep slumber of ignorance. After midnight, Vishukra, along with the 30 Akshavani Sena, surrounded the Vanhi Prakara. None of the members of Shakti Sena moved under the influence of the ignorance caused by the Vigna Yantra. However, the Vigna Yantra was not able to affect Mantrini Devi and Dandanatha Devi. They were both very sad and worried, seeing the state of their army. Not knowing what to do, they went to Lalita Devi. Devi Lalita looked at the Kameshwara's face and gently smiled. From her smile, Ganapati was born. He immediately searched the Vanhi Prakara and found the Vigna Yantra. He broke the stone into pieces and powdered it with his tooth. Shakti Sena's ignorance and sleep was dispelled, and they immediately got ready for the war. Now, Vigneshwara, Ganapati, along with his army, came out of the fire barrier and started a battle with Vishukra. Vishukra sent Gajasura to attack him, but soon Gajasura was slain. Seeing this, Vishukra ran away. My brother. Without Devi, there is nothing. An existence without her grace will come to an end through her grace. An existence with her grace will shine through in her grace. In either case, she is the only one that is resplendent as life and existence, be it human, asura, or the Devatas. Chapter 20. Devi Lalita vanquishes Bhandasura. After a discussion with Bhandasura, Vishukra returned to the battle along with his brother Vishanga and sons-in-law. With this, the third day of war had started. Mantrini Devi and Dandanatha Devi both went ahead seriously with the happenings at the battlefield. In the front was Dandanatha Devi, mounted on her Kirichakra Ratha, rapidly swirling her weapon, the Halayudha, the plow. Behind her, Mantrini Devi mounted Geya Chakraratha as an archer with bow and arrows. Dandanatha Devi attacked Vishanga, while Mantrini Devi confronted Vishukra. Ashwarudha Devi, Sampatkari Devi, and others attacked the sons-in-law of the Asuras. Bhandasura's army started slackening. Noticing this, Vishukra discharged the Trishastram, a weapon which produces thirst. The Shakti Sena started to experience intense thirst. Dandanatha Devi invited Madhya Samudra Deva, an ocean of liquor, from her Kirichakra. Madhya Samudra Deva showered liquor rains. With that, the army quenched their thirst and rejuvenated. By sunset, most of the Asuras, including Bhandasura's son-in-law, had died. Vishukra was killed by Varahi Devi and Vishanga by Mantrini Devi. By then, it was well past midnight. Only Kutilaksha, the commander-in-chief, was left over to console Bhandasura. Together, they started towards the battlefield. 2,185 Akshauhini army, along with 40 commanders, followed him. He boarded a chariot named Abhilama, the Dreadful. It was dragged by 1,000 lions instead of horses. His sword was Yatana, the torture in hell. Noticing this, Devi Lalita herself started moving in her Sri Chakra Rajaratha towards the war front. Behind her was Mantrini Devi in the Geya Chakra Ratha, followed by Dandanatha Devi in the Kiri Chakra Ratha. Other Shakti Devatas followed her in crores. In the attack and the counter-attack of weapons, none of them were drawn aback. In the Lalita Sahasranama, there's a description that says, Bhanda Surendra Nirmukta Shastra Pratyastra Varshini. Bhandasura, with his mystical powers, regenerated Madhukaitabha, Raktabija, and all the Asuras ever known to be. Out of Devi Lalita's loud laughter, Durga Devi and her forms emerged and slayed the Asuras. As a counter, Bhandasura generated Somaka and other Asuras. Lalita Devi then generated the 10 incarnations of Vishnu from the fingertips of her hands, who destroyed the Asuras. In the Lalita Sahasranama, there's a name that says, Karanguli Nakhotpanna Narayana Dashakritihi. By then, the sun was about to set. Lalita Devi decided to not to delay anymore. She then discharged the Narayanastra and Pashupatastra and destroyed the Asuras and their commanders, who were all turned into ashes. In the Lalita Sahasranama, the name goes as Mahapashupatastragni Nirdagdhasura Sainika. Now, Bhandasura was the only one left. Lalita Devi discharged the Mahakameshwarastra and annihilated Bhandasura. Immediately, his Shunyaka town got burned down. The description in the Lalita Sahasranama says, Kameshwarastra Nirdagdha Sabhandasura Shunyaka. The Devatas proclaimed victory of Lalita Devi by sounding the drums and showered flowers, lit camphor blazes, and shouted victory slogans.
Okay, so we did 5 chapters for today. Let's do the Shanti Patha now, and then we will move to discuss.